Welcome, everyone, to the Almost a Doctor After Party. It's kind of a small crowd right off the hop here, but it's so far with us. We've got, of course, the guest of honor, Matthew, also known as Almost a Doctor. If you missed the original interview, there is a link to it below, and you can go and check that out. And over on that description box, you'll find all of Matthew's links where you can find them on Twitter and YouTube and whatnot. So head over there and check it out. And then we also got this clown here below us here, Mr. Swede. Oh, you changed it. Sweet Irish again. I wasn't looking.
I wouldn't do
it. Sweet's with us. And, of course, my producer extraordinaire, Mr. Mikey Famine, is here. And R2D2 as well. Who happens to be in the background.
Yay.
So sweet. So sweet.
Yeah, I should really get mine set up so that I can do cool stuff like that.
I can show you how to do all this stuff.
Okay.
We're going to just do it for him since you're the producer.
I can't do his virtual cam. That will have to come from his computer.
Okay. What the virtual cam, really?
Mm-hmm.
What's that all about? We'll have to talk about this.
I could do a little primer. So if you guys find a cool video, download OBS and then put the video as a source and then have a green screen, put yourself over the top of that source and turn on your virtual cam, switch your virtual cam on inside your meeting, and Bob's your uncle. You got R2 in the background. Isn't that right, R2? Yeah, he says yeah.
No, that's what he said.
Right.
Hi, secular pagan mom. Welcome to the show. We just got going here, so again, Matthew, thank you for being my guest today on the interview part of the show, and of course for hanging out with us for a little bit longer before they, force you to go to work and stuff and
boo
that kind of thing.
That's one thing with a PhD. My hours are fairly flexible. Not in the next few weeks, but most of the time it is. So that's how I've done a lot of live shows or like joined people for streams from the office. So this is my work office. I'm not at home for that. Unfortunately, my office has been empty for like 5 months. There's meant to be like 4 other people here, and none of them have shown up. I don't know where they are.
Uh-oh, the drop bear's got them.
The drop bear only got one of them because we found him outside, but the others, I don't know. Could have been the octopuses. Maybe they've started already.
The blue rings. They're on the rise.
No, the blue rings are the ones that keep the people away. Maybe it's the other ones. Maybe they're trying to interrogate people. Maybe they want to know more about us.
The Pacific ones have come your way?
Maybe.
Don't get me started on cuttlefish.
Cuttlefish? They don't really cuddle. So
I'm not cuddling with them.
Yeah.
No,
they're tasty though.
They are.
Oh, see now. You thought you had some friends. Wait till they figure out you've been eating cuttlefish this whole time.
No, it's the octopus. I used to work in a fish shop, so I imagine that if the octopuses do take over the world, I'm screwed.
Yeah, you're the first one they're going for. Remember that guy? Uncle Phil ended up with him. On a shopping block somewhere.
I was just following orders.
Didn't work in Nuremberg, did
it?
Look at you, Swede, wearing your Nebraska Huskers.
Yep.
All nice and proud.
Oh, Swede's here. I never recognized him without the hoodie. Some Nebraska something. Something Nebraska every time.
Something Nebraska.
How come you don't have your light bar going like you usually do?
With the remote.
Oh, I had to ask, didn't I? There it is.
Yeah, I had it off because I was working on putting my computer together the other day when my Mobo decided to blow up, and I got tired of it distracting me, so I turned it off. So
looks like Oz showed up into the chat there.
Oh man.
So My new
gotta watch her.
motherboard turned into a $220 brick. It was awesome.
Wait, what? Your what did?
I'm putting together my next computer, and the motherboard stopped taking power, and it had completely fried out. So it's a $220 brick.
Yay.
Luckily, I can return it and get a full refund. So,
Woo! Thanks, Secular Pagan Mom.
Let me see what the sticker is. It's a unicorn.
The national animal of Scotland.
Stop it.
The unicorn?
It is. Yeah.
Oh, come on, Scotland.
Yeah, the
Get it
national
together.
Yeah.
Get it together.
Oh, his ears must have been burning.
Stonefish. Why are we talking about all the terrible animals? How about wombats? Let's talk about wombats and all the cool animals.
One of the worst animals to hit with your car, though. Because they go
Wombat?
under. Because they're quite low, and they've got, like, really, really hard butts. So they just take out the bottom of the car. Poor wombat, too. But their second worst animal in Australia to hit it with a car. Worst one being the kangaroo because of their legs. They go up over the bonnet, they come through the windscreen, and then they start kicking around. They haven't already been killed by being smacked into by front of the car. So, yeah, you want to be careful running into them. But they also have square poo or cubed poop.
Yep. Which is very cool.
There was an Ig Nobel Prize given to the research group that actually discovered why. And I got not very far into the paper, but the paper read using rubber balloons, and I was like, nope. But they somehow figured out why it's all cubed, and they're the only animal that does that. But yes, that was on somebody's research grant. It's like, why do you want $100,000?
Well, I mean,
We need more balloons.
They keep popping.
no, we don't need any more balloons. We have a helium shortage.
That's okay. I'm full of hot air. Happy birthday, Rory. What are you now? Like 200-300? Something like that?
oh,
No, he's 29. 29.
Again. That's right. That's what I tell people too. I'm 29 with 35 years experience or whatever. No, that's not right. I can't math today.
yeah, tell us, Rory.
Yeah, you're 29. You're on the 25th anniversary of your 29th birthday.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Something like that. Maybe we should. Maybe Rory's all like drunk up and stuff now because it's his birthday. Let's get him in here. What do you think?
Absolutely. And Brian Stevens, I'm on my way to Alderaan.
I thought you were on your way to Dagobah.
I just left there.
Yeah.
No, you know what? Cloud City. Take me to Bespin.
Bespin mining colony.
Mine some methane.
We should set one of those up on Saturn. I would say Jupiter, but we just die. So
Give me a few more beers and I'll be producing methane, no problem.
I watched The Bad Batch tonight for the first time. That first episode was pretty darn good.
Yeah, it is.
The
What
fact
is that
that they got Kanan involved, at least at the very, I don't think he'll probably have anything to do with it the rest of the time, but
Well,
that was
maybe.
cool.
I'm sure he'll pop in because he ran away, right? So
Yeah. But you got to like see the story of him.
yes, yeah, and you actually got to see the whole Order 66 happening.
Yeah.
Real time, right?
what is that playing on?
Disney
Disney
Plus is what I
Plus.
thought. Yeah,
Yep.
Okay.
it's been out since the 4th. They released it on Star Wars Day.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. 2 days I've been seeing.
Yeah, dude, and it's like 70 fucking something minutes long too. I think it's the season opener is a double episode basically.
Okay.
Yeah, which is awesome. Hour and fucking 15 minutes long. It's great.
Are you a big Star Wars guy, Matthew?
Yeah, I've seen them all. Yeah, I used to, when I was a child, I had a lot of Star Wars Lego, like building all of the different ships. I didn't do a Death Star, but I've done a couple of different ATSTs. I've done Star Destroyers. I like setting up all the little figures so they can fight with each other.
Thank you for settling an argument. It's called an ATST.
Razor Crest. ATST or AT-AT?
There's both of them. Depends which one you're looking at.
Yeah,
so I have
the two-legged is the ST.
Yes, and then the
AT-AT.
And I just ordered the gigantic Millennium Falcon, which should be like it's huge, like it's like big fucking one. I have the original one, the very first one they released, Millennium Falcon, and the Boba Fett slave ship, and the pod racers somewhere.
All right, everybody.
I was taking my oldest somewhere, and my oldest asked, like when we were getting in the car, he goes, "How big is a Super Star Destroyer?" And so I go, "Okay, well, we'll map it out." So I looked it up. 20. I think it's like 22 kilometers long or something crazy like that. So I'm like, "All right, we'll mark it from here, and I'll tell you when we stop or when we go by the point that it's we would run out of ship to drive on." And he said, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?"
Yeah, but they do that after 5 minutes of driving. So
it's like this ship is too big. Yeah,
and yet you never see cars in the corridor; they walk everywhere.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
You
not
never take a hike to get to work.
Welcome, Rory, and happy birthday again, my friend.
Happy birthday.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Neil. No, it's jolly good. I think, wasn't I on here a year ago? Didn't I shoot a badger or something?
Yes, you did. Yes,
There was something like that. I can't quite remember, but it was quite fun. So, as these streams always are. But so, anyway, thank you, and also thanks to everyone in the chat for wishing me a happy birthday. That's lovely.
Badger hasn't been in one of my shows for a long time.
No, I know he's kind of ducked out a little bit. I watched his YouTube streams. He's been doing a lot of sort of videos of him in his back garden eating things and putting it to putting it to music. But
and I seen him. Are you talking about the ones where he films at night when all the badgers come into the garden and start eating stuff?
Yeah, but that's him. Yeah, that's himself. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Well, obviously, because he's a badger. Yeah.
Well, I didn't recognize because he wasn't wearing his cool coat, so he probably takes it off when he goes outside, right?
Well, he's naked, yeah.
Yeah. Welcome, Kate. How you doing?
I'm all right, I suppose. How about the rest of you?
What's
Going all right?
Is your dad still with you, or?
Oh, he went. He left yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have a good visit with him.
Pretty much, yeah.
Now, does he partake in the herbal remedies as well, or?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Although I did take him to see the dispensary because it was near somewhere else we were going, so he knows what it's like.
I'm sure he's probably tried it in his time, I imagine.
Oh no! I mean, but what it's like now here in San Diego to get any.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Weed, not to get any.
No,
Easy.
Yeah.
I know. It's for some reason I've been watching a lot of those sitcoms where you get the nerdy kid who thinks they said something that could be taken the wrong way, and they keep making it worse as they try to correct themselves.
Yeah.
We watched.
It was on my mind.
I do that all the time, by the way. Shut up, Neil. You're just making it worse.
Step 1 to getting out of a hole: drop the shovel.
Yeah. Well, you can't dig your way out of a hole, right? So
Now
You could dig yourself a ramp.
dig up, stupid.
you could dig a ramp. Yeah, actually, that's fuck. Why didn't I think of that?
But you got to collapse the wall in, but most people get the direction wrong.
Yeah, but
The
you
ramp's
just
gotta
stick it
go
behind
up.
you, right? Yeah, I'm digging a ramp. Yeah, further down.
Ooh,
What do we
what do you
got
got
there?
there?
No. You see, my son bought this for my birthday.
Wow.
What is it?
Scotch whiskey.
Ooh.
Oh.
What
So-
region?
So I'm having a dram or two, if you don't mind.
Oh, it's your
So-
birthday. You do whatever you want.
So if I fall off my chair, you'll understand why, won't you?
Have to admit, from the design of the bottle, I thought it was like this massive thing of cologne.
Me
It's-
too.
well, it's
That's
really-
exactly.
Yeah, I was
Well,
thinking
look,
that thought as well.
it's really interesting. It has all this. Look at this. I've
Live
never
life.
I've never actually heard of this particular brand before.
Neither have I.
But
It's a handsome bottle.
It is. It's also rather powerful, I have to say.
But
So
is it a?
I shall pour myself a wee dram.
We dram. Is it single malt, Rory?
Yes.
It's a single grain, malt. It's-
What region?
Well, I presume Scotland. Yeah, it is obviously. Yeah, Scotch whiskey. It says matured in bourbon cases somewhere down the bottom there. Anyway.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So here we go, lads. We'll and ladies. We'll carry on.
Carry on.
If it
carry
wasn't
on.
morning here, I would have liked to have joined you, but
Who says
if I did,
Who cares?
I have a car that I need to get home in.
Well, if you have a dram, I'm sure you'd be fine. But you need one of those clocks that has all fives on it, Rory. Or Matthew, you need a clock with all fives on it.
I've only got a mini one though in the office.
Oh.
And
No,
I'm thinking,
no. Neil. A clock is always right.
Twice a day.
Twice a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
right.
not necessarily true. Because if someone decided to go up to the stop clock and just adjust it just as the time is coming, they could keep it slowly ahead of it and never be right.
Then it wouldn't be stopped.
Well,
Also true.
okay, fine, but it would be, but it wouldn't be consistently wrong because the person who's moving it with their fingers wouldn't always move it the same amount, would they?
But then they wouldn't be
No.
stopped.
Well, that's
Could be
a
stopped for a little while.
that's quite a good point, because I think if you fly around the globe anti-clockwise, you actually save a minute of your life in time, something like that.
yeah, so time is relative. So
Yes.
you could just say it's relative to the broken clock, and we can ignore the fact that that's not physics. But yeah, so when you travel, when you move, time slows down, but not for you compared to another observer. So there's also all these weird
Has
things.
to do with
Yeah,
gravity.
it also does have to do with gravity, but it doesn't necessarily need gravity. So movement will do it and gravity will do it. So in fact, if I start increasing the Earth's gravitational pull, which we can't without more mass, but let's pretend I can, then I can start messing with time as well. I will start changing the flow of time depending on how close to that center of mass you are or not. So time, as you get towards a black hole, actually slows down. So if you fell through a black hole, we don't actually know exactly what would happen, whether we wouldn't see you go through, but you would go through. It's really weird. So you would be inside the black hole and you can see out because the light can still get in, but nobody can see you. You can look out of the black hole and see the universe go past in fast forward. Assuming
like
it's a really
the
big
word
black hole and you
predictions.
don't get fried by its radiation.
I like the word widdershins.
Widdershins? What does that
Yeah.
even mean?
It basically means counterclockwise. It's the opposite of diosel.
Right,
Um,
right.
So that whiskey is they have a celebrity sponsor or a spokesperson. And that would be one David Beckham.
Really?
Oh, sexy pants McBeckham. So you're drinking his whiskey.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, did you look that up, Mikey?
I'm on their website. I was trying to see how much
right.
it was. It's not that
Okay.
it's not cheap, but it's not terrible. It's not crazy. It's not like Uncle Nearest or something. It's like 80 bucks for a fucking thing. This is around $50. So it's a good present.
Alcohol in Australia is expensive unless you're buying wine because we have very high import taxes on everything unless it's wine. But Australia produces okay wine. So whiskey here is quite hard to, well, it's hard to get cheap whiskey here that's actually good. But You should look up, if you want a very expensive bottle of nice whiskey, you can look up Sullivan's Cove. It's a Tasmanian whiskey, and their cheapest bottle goes for about 250 Australian, so about nearly 200 US, I'd say.
What is it? Sullivan's Cove?
Yeah, Sullivan's Cove. I
Yeah.
think it's
Matthew,
SULL.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I tend to buy Australian or South African wine, or New Zealand, Marlborough Sauvignon, that type of thing.
I don't know a lot about wine. I know some of it's white, some of it's red, and I'll drink it.
We
That's about it.
We have
So
here in
what-
BC, in the Okanagan, we've got a few wineries that have won some awards. So look up Okanagan wines, and you might find a good one there.
Oh, due to
And
regulations,
Okanagan.
due to U.S. regulations, we are unable to ship directly to the U.S. addresses. Well, thanks for nothing, Sullivan's Cove.
Thanks, Trump.
Okanagan is Okanagan.
Okay, there's a chance I might have guessed that.
There you go, right there, Okanagan.
There's quite a lot of vineyards around Australia, particularly about this.
He knows that 'cause he lives there.
Yeah, there's a couple of places near Sydney. You drive a couple of hours and you go. So Hunter Valley's one of them. It's kind of a bit northish, and you just drive through all these vineyards, and they all have. You can just go for tasting, and a lot of them will do it very cheap, or you can get free tasting as long as you buy a bottle, and the bottles are you can buy a fairly decent bottle for less than $20.
Joke's on them.
So yeah, you just go through, you taste everything, and make one tiny purchase, and then it's free.
It's awesome.
Some of them won't.
I get fucking hammered doing that though.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because usually when you hear about wine tastings, it's the one where you swish and spit it out. And I was like, but what if you decide not to and just get schnockered?
Oh no! In Australia, most
Yeah.
people at alcohol tasting events just swallow everything. You only spit out if you're a designated driver.
Yeah. No one goes to a wine tasting and spits it out. I mean, what's the point?
Well, I mean, okay, maybe television has lied to me. I freely admit that's possible.
That's the professional. Those
Those
are
are the
professionals.
sommeliers.
Yeah.
I met a gastrophysicist because apparently that's the thing, and he was out from Denmark. He came and gave a talk here. This is before COVID, when you could actually do this. And he was telling me that if you want the full tasting experience, you have to swallow the food because your nose has a lot to do with tasting. And when you swallow, some of the vapors come back up all the pipes at the back, and that gives you the full experience. So spitting out, you'll never actually get the full taste of the wine. So that's my excuse for if somebody puts something in front of me and I want to have a taste. Nope, gotta have it.
A gastrophysicist?
Yes, that was what he called himself.
Fucking amazing.
Yeah, his physics research was in food, and he was telling me that squid. So now the cuttlefish are really going to want to kill me. Tastes sweet, even though you can have salt and pepper calamari. It tastes sweet, but you don't taste squid when you have salt and pepper calamari. You taste the batter, and it's the texture that you go for. So if you want to taste squid, you gotta grind it up and turn it into mince, not mashing it, but mince. Mm-hmm. And then he worked with some chefs to actually turn it into desserts in famous restaurants. And I'm just like, you have a cool job.
Like a squid ice cream or something.
Of all the ambitions in my life, tasting squid is definitely lowest on the list. In fact, it doesn't even have a place.
What about kangaroo?
What about kangaroo?
Would you ever taste or have tasted kangaroo?
I'd have to smell it first.
It's a bit like beef.
That person.
Tastes like beef.
Does
Well,
it?
what about oysters?
Oh,
I've never had
absolutely not. If it looks like it could have dripped out of my nose, I'm not eating it.
Yeah, who figured out that you could eat boogers that live in rocks?
Yeah.
Oh, also natural oysters, so wild oysters, the genitals make up 80% of them.
Who sucked on a cow's tit first? I mean, think about that one.
Yeah, I can't get over who's like, milk. Well, it's the same color. Let's get it from the cow instead. But
The foie gras weirds me out.
yeah, but like oysters, they end up doing like a weird genetic trick with them. They're all have an extra chromosome or an extra genome on them because otherwise the genitals are too big, and that's all you'd eat if you had the oyster. So all the oysters we eat are mutants. Not that I eat oysters; it's like the one seafood I've never touched.
I love them.
I like crab legs.
Crab legs.
Nice.
We get a lot of the Alaskan king crab legs here. We had so many of them one day. A buddy of mine's dad is a fishing boat, and they go out and crab all the time. And he had so many. We brought this gigantic green garbage bag full of crab legs with us camping, and we were just heating the shit up over the fire and dipping it in the garlic butter. And I didn't eat crab for about 2 years after that. It's so much crab.
Love garlic. I was raised by a Sicilian father. I love garlic.
Oh yeah, me too.
I'm half Lebanese. Everything has to have garlic. Makes everything better.
I'm half vampire. I do not understand everyone's obsession with garlic. It's just not necessary.
I love it.
It burns.
Keeps them away is what it is. Like, seriously, there are no Italian vampires. It just doesn't exist.
Nope, they're all from Transylvania, aren't they?
Mainly, yeah, mainly. Most of the ones I know.
Or Louisiana, apparently, or France. So, interview with vampire. Never mind. But when I lived in Israel, my best friend there was Lebanese guy. Yeah,
They love their garlic paste. You get a bit you get fresh garlic, you get a bit of olive oil, and then you just blend it up, and it's just a paste that you can just slather over your meat or your potato or veg. It goes on everything. But the true way to have it, you get a bit of Lebanese bread. You get whatever you're putting in it. It can be anything. You scoop it up, and then you dip the whole thing in the garlic paste. So it's just Lebanese bread topped, and then you just eat it. You don't bother wrapping it up properly. You just got to scoop it.
Scoop and eat.
Yeah,
like you would with a pita or something. I used to fill the garlic paste into pitas and stuff, and like throw in a couple of pieces of falafel or something, and just scarf that back. Mm-hmm. So good.
I used to eat falafel way back in the day when I was still living with my hippie parents.
Yeah?
It's been a while, though.
It's good stuff. I get it just down the road. They'll deliver it right here. The falafel. It's good stuff. Chickpeas.
There's literally a police station right across the fence from me, and there's a bar right next to it. I hear so many choppers and fucking muscle cars revving all throughout the night. That's why every time I keep like looking up, I'm hearing the backfire. I'm like, I can't even have my speakers too loud without getting pulled over. And these guys are brum, pop, 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 pop. And there's just no consequence. I'm just like, that must be nice.
In Australia,
I just saw one of those cars. Like, I live in Southern California. One of those cars where like the front suspension is on springs or something, so it's bouncing up and down.
Hydraulics.
Well, what the hell is that about? I only saw it in the movies until like a year ago.
Air suspension.
It's hydraulics. It's all hydraulics.
It took me a bit to get over.
Why? What's the appeal?
It's cool
because it's different. But the weird thing is, in
your car can dance, it can do a little jig.
Because they go up like this, they switch.
Yeah.
In Australia, I'll get to that one in a minute. But actually, in physics, in optics, sometimes you need a bench that doesn't shake because the alignment of certain optics is so precise. So what they do is it's known as a floating bench. It's essentially putting a giant metal bench on hydraulics. So this thing is just floating on compressed air, and it's just like the cars you push down. And so, except you don't generally bounce it to music. That's not what you should do. But in Australia, for the laws that stop you like doing burnouts and all these other things with cars that allow the cops to confiscate it, or where you're talking about that, I've heard it referred to by people in Australia. It's known as the Hoon legislation.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty cool. And
Ken Black's Gymkhana videos and his Hoonigan mobiles are some of my favorite things. But But goddamn, not right next. I'm talking. They're literally door by door next to each other, and they just let them have at it.
Well, I was driving back from the 4 hours out in the country yesterday, and there was like on the way there was no cops. I didn't see any of them. On the way back, it was a highway patrol car every kilometer or so. They were everywhere, and I even spotted one undercover one on the way back too, because they decided to put giant antennas on them so you can actually see them coming if you know what you're looking for. But not quite all of them, but most of them. But you know, I'm not going to be crazy in a car anyway. So
yeah, I'm too old for that.
Matthew, whereabouts in Australia do you live?
Sydney. So I'm pretty much in the city. Yeah. So I'm working at the university, which is CBD's a couple of kilometers that way. So I'm very close to the middle of it. But it's a big city for its population. Like it spreads out over a long time. But house prices here are getting more expensive.
So do you get CBD oil there at CBD University? Just kidding.
We actually, so I'm at Sydney University or University of Sydney, and it's one of the bigger universities in Australia for research into marijuana. So we've got a couple of labs that have permission to keep. One of the ones over in chemistry where I used to be.
Nice.
They store a fair amount of it. They're not allowed to grow it, but they can store and purchase and keep large volumes in the lab, or large enough for their research. And there was a fairly new lab.
What's the address?
Sorry?
What's the address? I'm just gonna.
I think California's closer for you.
I live in BC. It's legal here, and I there's a guy literally down the road from me is a friend of mine, has a shop, and I know the guy that grows it for him. So there you go. I'm good.
Yeah, Matthew, my uncle used to live in Sydney. He was in the Royal Australian Navy.
Okay.
He transferred from the Royal Navy, to the Royal Australian Navy, and he lived there for a few years when serving in the Navy, and then finally retired to sort of southern New South Wales, that area.
Okay. Yeah, it's very nice down there. A lot of nice places that would be worth it.
He loved it. Yeah, he loved it. So I've got quite a few cousins in that area.
Fairly stable weather here too because of the ocean currents. So we don't get massive temperature swings. We get really hot days, but it's fairly
CBD oil to lubricate the floating benches. Oh, sure. Rub it in, Nate.
Can't legally do that in Australia.
You think they'll ever legalize it there or what?
One day maybe. But also, like our state capital, it's actually like sits inside its own territory. So I guess it's like not a state, but it's like the next level down. I imagine like Alaska or something. I'm not sure exactly how it works in America, but they have it's weird. They've got all these things that are legal that aren't legal anywhere else in the country, or things will be legal on like 1 or 2 days. So like in Australia, it's illegal to own or use fireworks without a license, except for like a couple of days a year in Canberra. But Canberra is considered by Australians as a bit of a hole, so you don't want to be there. That's normally the joke. But geographically, it is in a hole. It's surrounded by mountains, so you have to go down into the hole to be in our capital. Lots of roundabouts. It's known for its roundabouts, porn, fireworks, and then something about politicians.
Porn.
I'm on my way.
Yeah.
One of my favorite songs. There was I haven't seen them do too much together the last few years, but it was Sammy J and Randy, and they did a song about Australian stereotypes. So if you look up the Sammy J and Randy Australian Christmas, you'll probably find it. They go through and do the stereotypes from some of the major Australian cities. One of my favorite lines is because it was a Christmas one. It's like, was it Blitzen's coked up on the harbour, scoffing seafood marinara? It's Christmas in Sydney. Because that's apparently our stereotype.
What, that you get coke? You get coked up?
Oh, the business people, the fine. We've got to, because in Australia we've got like two industries, mining and finance. So Got all the finance and business people in Sydney, so near the CBD, and there's like most business people do, they have a reputation.
So like 1980s Wall Street.
So Nate says, people just hate Canberra because it's in the middle of nowhere and there's nothing to do. And we like to make fun of it because it's also where the politicians live, and Australians make fun of their politicians a lot. That's why I watch like America, and like you guys will have your presidential campaigns that run for like more than a year. Like, because we don't have a president, our prime minister is just whoever heads the party that wins federal election.
Really?
Our federal election campaign is the closest thing we'll get to a presidential one. And it's like we see a bunch of ads the month out before the election where they all put ads on the TV, 1 or 2 minor rallies, a debate or 2, and that's about it. We really don't care as much. And then I'll look at America, it's like, you're campaigning, but it's more than a year before the election. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Go back to bed, have a sleep in.
Well, you have to have the primary to decide who's going to run against who. So that's how ours works differently than everybody else's. But we don't vote for a party. We vote for candidates themselves.
Exactly, Kate.
We have thought about.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Is like I tend to vote based on issues, and a lot of other people vote on like personalities and crap, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, and that's why you can't do it in Australia because the prime minister is voted in by the party. And that's why we've gone through so many prime ministers in the last 10 years or so, is because as soon as they become unpopular, the party's like, well, we want to win the next election, so bye-bye. I'll put someone else in. And I remember our 2 major parties are Labor and Liberal. Labor's the more left-wing, very more like union-focused one. And then you got the Liberals, which are the more right-wing conservative one. But both of them still sit to the left of where the Democrats in America do. Not by much, but they're far more closer to center than US politics. But they kept kicking out their prime ministers, and then one of them came back because he kicked out the one who kicked him out. And then the Liberals were making fun of them, like, you can't do this. This is not normal. And then they got into power and then did the same thing. So they're all just so.
We've actually had a.
You should get like a party of robots in the majority, so you can have an Optimus Prime Minister.
How did I know that was coming?
Oh, because you know me too well. That's how.
Would we be able to tell the
to do with
difference
the
between
80s,
the robots and our current leaders? I don't know. Maybe that'd be a bit
That's
better.
a good point.
But we actually have a party that has that runs in the Senate here. That is the Science Party. They're an actual party based on science values, that I quite like that.
What the hell
So
is
yeah,
that?
we have a science party in our politics.
What does this mean?
Kevin 07.
It's Klaus is an Aussie too, so
Yeah, so Kevin Rudd was our prime minister. He was the one that got booted out, the one I was mentioning to, and then he ran in 2007. So it was Kevin 07, because apparently Australians don't like long sentences. We do things short. Hint: if you want to learn Australian slang, it's really, really easy. What you do, you take a long word like ambulance, you shorten it to 1 syllable, and then add an unnecessary vowel to the end of it. So, like someone who drives an ambulance is an ambo,
Or like a mosquito is a mozzie.
Yep.
Well,
Or if you want to go to McDonald's, you go to Mackey's.
Macca's.
Macca's.
well, even good day. Good day,
Yeah.
mate.
But explain some
Don't
of the
hear that
really
one,
weird
actually,
ones,
many
like Dinky D. Where do you get that shit from?
I haven't heard that one actually.
What?
Some of them you
Like-
just start making sounds and someone will know what you mean. But in
Well,
Australian
I looked it up
slang,
once.
I've noticed you can put ed at the end of almost any word and it means drunk.
really?
Because like you've got all the typical ones like smashed, hammered, but then you start like I've heard ones from like more British one, like mottled, I think was one I heard. I can't do the accent, but like it makes like in Australian, if you just like slag, if you just put ed on the end of most words, people will understand that you're talking about someone who's drunk. So yeah, there's your introduction to Australian slang.
He's slobbered. He's slackered.
Yeah, they work. Most of the time, yeah.
He's Mikey'd.
Yeah. Most people would be like, oh, yeah, he must be talking about somebody who's hammered.
It's completely
real.
candid.
How about he
I don't
rogered?
know.
Sorry?
How about he rogered?
Yeah, it'll probably work. Although that might have been Rogered might mean something else.
But it does in English.
It's pronounced Dinky Die. Okay, if you say so there, Skywatcher.
What's that? Dinky die pronounced? Dinky die means genuine.
Genuine.
Oh.
I think that's an older one. That's not something I hear much, but
Okay. Well, but it's
but
still
I've-
weird. I mean, how do you get genuine out of Dinky Die?
How do you get blood from a turnip? I don't know.
Ooh,
What?
They're all
threaten its
just
family until it comes up with some from a hobo.
they're just northern Australians and southern Brits, as far as I'm concerned. Just make up words whenever they want.
I'm just gonna. I don't even know what to. I'm having a brownie.
Oh,
they're just regular brownies.
Yeah, yeah. These ones are. They were like $4 for a thing of like 50 of them or something. So they're the little 1-bite brownies.
Now I want brownies, damn it.
Well, a few family members are very good at baking brownies, so we get some.
You're not that far, Kate. It might take me a while to drive down, but you probably won't even want them.
What would you say is like a long drive across, like either America or Canada? What would count as a long country drive?
Well,
A
let's put
long
it
drive
this
would
way.
be all night.
Okay, that's about
Going
it.
from BC, like Vancouver, to friggin' San Diego is going to take you at least a day.
Well, about 22 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm just because Australia, there's nothing in the middle of it. So if you drive from here to anywhere, you got to drive a long time. If you drive outside of New South Wales or Victoria, but yeah, so it's not something people
Let's drive
do.
to Perth.
Yeah, let's drive across the length of the entire country, and we'll drive
would that
through
be like
just,
a week?
Yeah, he'd probably set aside a week. Some people do it as like they'll tour in just an RV around the whole of Australia, and I'm just like, you're crazy.
They
Don't need
taste
to do
yummy
that.
too, Kendra. Chocolate brownies. Hey, Jonathan. Thank you for becoming my newest patron, by the way.
There he is.
No, if you want the stuff that's got the magic sauce in it, that's these things. Right here. These are the gummy bears right here.
Not legal here.
Matthew,
Totally legal here.
Ain't nobody snitching.
Matthew, have you ever come across a brown snake in Australia?
I'm not in the wild, but my family members have a lot. So I've been
Right.
lucky. We did find a trapped snake under our garage door once. It got crushed. We didn't even realize. But the brown snakes, for anyone who's not aware, are one of the more venomous snakes in the world, and they're aggressive. They will attack you if you're not careful. I've been lucky, but my mum's side of the family grew up in the country, and so they had to be very careful with snakes. Most of them, though, so if you go hiking through the Australian bush, you don't run. You walk, particularly as a group, because the snakes will generally clear off when they hear you. But if you run, they panic, they turn around. And if you climb over logs, don't jump over the log, climb up onto it first so you can see the other side. People get bitten on the ankles that way.
Yeah.
They jump over. There's a snake.
The reason that I asked was my uncle's dog got bitten by a brown snake.
Oh, poor thing.
And I know it's at the end of his garden, about 50 yards away or something. It whined, managed to make it to the front door and just dropped down totally dead. Gone, you know?
Yeah, I think they're the second most venomous snake in Australia, but they're the ones you worry about more because they're aggressive and they attack. Whereas the other ones, the most venomous snake in the world is the red-bellied black snake. So if you see a black or brown snake in Australia or a black or brown spider in Australia, you run the other direction. And yeah, so Queensland have them. The brown snakes are all over, but the red-bellied black snakes are a bit more around Sydney. I think I'm not exactly sure.
People didn't really
Entire
spend a lot of skull sweat naming these snakes, did they?
Yeah, we're not particularly clever with naming a lot of our animals. Like we've got a lizard that has this big frill on its neck, and it's called a frill neck lizard. We've got a black snake with a red belly, so it's a red belly black snake. There's a spider that makes web shaped like funnels, and you find it in Sydney, so it's a Sydney funnel web. We have spiders that have a red stripe on their back, so they're redback spiders. They're not lethal, but they will hurt if you get bitten by them. You don't put compression bandages on them on those bites because they're
widows. They're a breed of widow, the redbacks.
Yes, but only the females have the red back, and they're the ones that hurt. The others have like orange or yellow, but you still don't go near them. Generally, in Australia, you don't go near spiders, although the spiders come near you because there's a lot of them. I went to the.
I do.
Yeah, but
I go near spiders.
Yeah, you're crazy.
My entire picture of Australia is based off of somebody taking a picture in their backyard of a spider eating a snake. A giant freaking spider like this big had caught a snake in its web and was eating it.
Yeah.
Orb weaver?
We got spiders that eat birds as well, and mice. And...
Sounds like an orb weaver, giant golden orb weaver.
Probably. A lot like it's easy because we've got a lot of anti-venom stocked all over the country for it, so it's not actually lethal most of the time.
Most of the time.
It's like we only get a death every couple of decades now, generally from them, or every couple of years. So it's because we're so used to it that we do that. There's other animals you have to watch out for. So I was saying on the previous show, your most likely animal to kill you in Australia is a cow. But we generally don't count drop bears because they're more stealthy, so you can't always tell. And people just go missing with them. But
how does
it make it look like a cow? How
does a cow kill you in Australia?
Well, because we're upside down, sometimes they fall.
Well, there was that one that, like, with the jumping and over the moon part. So that
and landing on someone.
Well, if it didn't burn up in the atmosphere, that's one thick cow.
Yeah, no kidding.
Mice, yeah, tons of mice. Although we had in the country near Sydney recently, we had a giant mouse plague. So there was this problem with a lot of mice at the moment. But I used to own pet mice, so tons of mice. I'd protect you if you're out in Australia. None of my mice got bitten. But the other couple of months ago was so my lab is actually in the basement of this building because they cleared it out and then did it up into a new lab. So occasionally when it floods because the water needs to be pumped out, it's pretty good. However, one of the toilets that hasn't been done up. This building was built in the 1920s, so it's an old building. The toilet might have been done up since then, but not very recently. It's old, and you get a few spiders in there, but normally it's all right. And I went in and I've go into the cubicle, go to grab some paper towel so I can. Like some toilet paper to wipe the seat down. Yeah. And I go and I grab and I pull and something falls out onto my hand, like this big. And then before my brain's had a moment to register what's happened, it's jumped onto the floor. Then I've realized giant huntsman spider. It was hiding there. Fortunately, they're not actually venomous, but I'm arachnophobic. No. I've now just had to unexpected spider land on my hand and then jump off and run. It's run into one corner and I've run out the door.
You're both scared the shit out of each other.
Yeah, probably. But I have the feeling I was more scared than he was. Because I have not set foot in that cubicle again.
I bet he hasn't either.
Well, he just stayed in the corner. I ran much further than he did, or she, or it. I don't know. But they're
wide belly or thin belly.
No, pretty fat. But it was definitely a huntsman. Definitely a huntsman. I know. Yep. I mean, there's a lot of them around.
They look like a crab when they said they got the kind of weird angled legs. Huntsman. Yeah.
Yeah. I know what the huntsman look like because we've had a few of them in the house, and we've got a chart on our wall at home. Or we did that had all the different spiders. So it was like, here's the venomous ones, here's the non-venomous, they're venomous but won't kill you.
They're
and
all
then here's
venomous,
the ones that won't. Well, yeah, but in terms of danger to humans, danger to humans.
Yes.
So
yes.
But I know a lot of people get bitten. They're called white tails, and the problem from them is not necessarily the bite, but the bites often get infected.
Yes.
So that's the bigger issue, but. Yeah, in Australia, I think I'm trying to think what naturally is your biggest worry, and I think it's probably just drowning.
I think the whitetails, when they bite you, they actually cause a little bit of necrosis in the skin, so it opens up a little bit more, and you can get infected.
Oh,
Quite
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Australian wildlife's not particularly fun, but you got
The brown
it. That's why
recluse has a similar effect when it bites.
I've done a lot of camping and hikes in my time, so particularly at school. So you kind of get used to it, but
See, I love spiders, and wherever they are, I go where they are. And I'm like, try to grab them and pick them
Okay.
up, and hey.
if you ever come to Sydney, I'll shout you a drink. But if we come across a spider, you can deal with it.
All right, deal.
I say that to most people. If I'm on someone's stream, then you come to Australia, you want to meet up, I will shout you a beer or a drink. It doesn't have to be alcoholic.
There's yeah, it does for me. But anyways, I'm what you call a functioning alcoholic. But like Nacho Witness and Nervardia and Jen's little corner, and they all want me to come down and some point and have a drink with them. So
I mean, if I'm ever in Brisbane or Perth, I'll meet up with them. You know, but at the moment we're not traveling because our border,
Right.
our state borders are so sensitive that that as soon as one state, particularly like New South Wales or Victoria, records any COVID cases, all the other states shut their borders. New South Wales doesn't tend to, so Queensland will, so the northeast part of Australia. So if you want to, so it's quite risky to travel interstate because you may not get back. So if you've got work, they'll just shut the border and you can't. You'll get like 12 hours to get out, and then until one state's cleared it, which, I mean, there's been a few issues over it, but I'm not well enough informed to go too much into detail there. So have to wait a little bit. Maybe when we're all vaccinated, they'll let us do it a bit easier. And then Queensland turns around and goes, well, why aren't you visiting? We've opened the borders again. And everyone's like, yeah, because you're going to shut them again if anything goes wrong.
Yeah. I don't want to be stuck there.
Yes.
I don't live here.
Queensland's nice to visit, but
We got a
finish that.
little inter-Australian hostility going on here now.
I mean, imagine you get that in the States, but the thing I noticed that, like in America, you travel between different states. It's like you're traveling to a different country. In Australia, you just travel between one version of summer and another one. The wildlife changes slightly, but it's all pretty much the same. Except if you go north, you get crocodiles. You don't get them further south.
Right.
Saltwater crocodiles that also live in fresh water. So to quote our All Aussie Adventures, which anyone who's not familiar, please look that up. It is worth your while. It just proves that they can't be trusted.
We have a television program in England about Bondi Beach, or is it Bondi Beach or?
Oh, Bondi Rescue, is that it?
That's the one. My wife follows that all the time because it's so amusing. I don't know whether you've ever been there.
I have been to Bondi a couple of times. I've been there. Actually, we sailed there. I did a sailing trip. I was back at school and we sailed and just jumped off the boat. So I won. But yeah, so one of the biggest beaches in Sydney, one of the more famous ones, called Bondi, and there's an entire TV show, and all they do is follow the lifeguards around. Yeah.
Well, my wife is a lifeguard and a swim instructor herself, so
nice.
that's why she's kind of into it.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of the episodes, but I probably shouldn't make the joke that I've heard before. It's a bit racist about the stars of the show, so keep that one. It's more to do with that it's to do with a lot of the tourists that come in because they don't understand quite how rough the surf can get.
Right.
Yeah. But there's a bit of that.
So
but
you were saying that in the first show, like most of Americans swim, but we're pool swimmers. You know what I mean? The water doesn't move too much. It just moves because a big bloke just jumped in on the other end. Like that's the most movement that we get used to. So like every once in a while you'll get people swimming out in lakes, but it's very rare for people to have regular swimming in ocean experience. Like it just doesn't happen. It's too far away for most of us.
I mean, I was raised on the East Coast, but not an East Coast ocean coast. I was raised on the coast of Shelburne Bay, Lake Champlain. It's not the same as an ocean.
That's cold water.
yeah, Whereas we get fairly decent currents that keep the water fairly warm. But it's but yeah, because I mean, look, I live on the coast. Most of Australia, like 80% of our population, lives on the coast, so most people can get down. But so it's very common that people will do a lot of pool swimming, but everyone's capable of swimming briefly in the ocean. Right. And I know people who will regularly just go for ocean swims.
And my understanding is that 80% of you that live on the coast are afraid of the 20% of you that live in the center. Like,
that's where the drop bears are from.
Yeah, we're not scared of the people; we're scared of the animals.
Well, and what about the sharks, Matthew?
You're was it? It's like you're like 1,000 times more likely to just drown than get attacked than to die from a shark attack. So. But we do occasionally have trouble. So we have helicopters that patrol our coast looking for sharks to keep an eye out for them. And that's why in Queensland, further north, you want to be careful what time of the year you go for a swim in the ocean. Because it's not just the sharks. There's other things in there that will get you too.
What, tarantulas?
Yeah, you guys have like man-o-war that'll sting you to death.
Unlikely, but it does happen. But no, the biggest worry if you go for like the northern half of Queensland is jellyfish.
Yeah, man-o-war.
The man-o-war is actually not quite a jellyfish.
Yeah, Portuguese man-o-war. Yeah. It's like a weird organism.
It's the equivalent of 3 kids in a trench coat.
Yep.
Like I'm not even thinking, like, it's like little tentacle things are one animal, and its little head floaty thing is one animal, and I forget the technical terms for all that, so you'll have to forgive me.
It's symbiotic relationship.
I'm a physicist. Floaty bit and tentacly bit are the correct terms to me.
I mean, it gets the point across, and if I wasn't saying that, I would just be saying floaty bit in Latin. I mean, does it really count if you're just saying it in a different language?
Yeah,
well, we were having to go. Yeah, it was like what I was saying earlier. A lot of the names for animals around here are not exactly the most exciting, but you know what they are.
Yeah, presumably it's Flotimus bitimus.
One of my favorite names from like paleontology is ichthyosaur. So all the different ichthyosaur species, because ichthyosaur just means fish lizard, I think, in Latin. Which tells you exactly.
That's my favorite category of saur.
Yeah.
Also got a soft spot for pterosaur.
And cold sores.
Canceled, Mikey. Canceled.
What was it? There's a bird. I don't think it's Australian. I think it's an African bird that's just called. It's called the barefaced go away bird.
What?
You want to do
Seriously?
a quick Wikipedia search for the barefaced go away bird?
I was just looking up the crocodilia that you guys have in Australia. You have two. You have the world's biggest, which is the saltwaters, and the freshwater crocs, which are only found in your country.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, though. This barefaced go away bird. Is it we want the bird to go away? Is it the bird makes us go away? Do we make the bird go away? Why is it going away? And from whom or who is going away?
Apparently, its cry sounds like someone saying "go away," but I've heard the bird cry, and I think the physicists might have been consuming some of Neil's gummy bears.
I see.
There you go. There's the barefaced go away bird.
Uh-huh.
I like some of the bird names because you can get. So there's a whole group of birds called tits, and there's one species that's known as the great. So you just see 2 of them on a branch, and you've got a pair of great tits.
Yep, we have blue tits in England.
It's probably because it's really cold. I'm just kidding.
They also had that in The Fifth Element.
Oh. Shut up, sweet. I always used to put the picture of the boobies and say, "Oh, here you go, a pair of boobies, right?" With the booby birds.
Blue-footed boobies.
Yeah.
I love the blue-footed boobies.
Or an imperial shag.
I think Sweet was referencing Pava Laguna. The diva.
What? Who?
The diva.
What you eating, Jonah?
I am eating chicken, carrots, wax beans, and green beans, tossed in a sort of an Espanol sauce.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
That sounded like something from a cooking program.
It's literally something I can make with frozen food. I mean, like, just the fact that I can doctor it up is the only reason that I'm not completely miserable.
I was very impressed by the description.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a lot more crunchy when it's frozen. So
yeah, I recommend cooking it before you eat it.
yeah,
Or at least heating it up.
It's something.
Otherwise, it'll taste like a new pair of Hokas.
Sorry,
I am
what
at
was
that odd point in my life where I don't have a significant other living with me, so I don't have anyone else to cook for. But also, I've spent so long knowing how to cook that I can't go to the standard bachelor chow.
Well, I've got almost something worse. For a while, I was having seizures that were triggered by certain kinds of food.
Oh, I'm
And
sorry.
so for most of a decade,
Oh.
I had to avoid certain kinds of food. But now that I can have it again, I don't remember what I like. I don't remember what's good anymore. And so I've been like tentatively trying different foods to see if I like it at all. It's been weird. It's been very strange.
So, do you remember what it was that you couldn't eat?
Oh yeah, a lot of it. I mean, I still love, bacon and ginger and chocolate and caffeine and all of that.
Mhm.
But like I used to love Asian food, but the last couple of times I've tried some of the dishes I used to love, I was like, wait a minute, what's up? It didn't taste the same. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
The
like my
problem-
taste buds shifted after like some
Maybe.
non-use. I don't know.
Could be.
I think the problem with that would be figuring out whether, you didn't enjoy that style of food anymore, or if the people you got it from just sucked at making it.
Yeah.
Possible.
Yeah,
Possible.
my wife learned that I haven't had a lot of food in my life because my mom could ruin cereal. So when she asks, like, have you ever had such and such before? I go, just assume I haven't, because if somebody in my family tried to make it for me, it probably wasn't close to what it should be.
I can't even boil water anymore. Fuck. So.
Well,
Neil,
I was raised by like health food nut hippies. So through the 80s, I missed out on a lot of good food until they finally relented and realized they had to let me have normal food because I was going to go out into the world someday.
Tired of dandelions, Mom.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing here is that when we all meet up at Faithless Forum, we have to go back to my hotel room for like lunch crepes.
Yeah, that would be fucking epic.
Yeah.
Or any kind of crepes. I don't care what you label.
Or the food.
Have you
truck
ever
scene.
had like the savory buckwheat crepes?
Oh yeah,
Once-
yeah.
I love those so much. Like
Yeah,
those
they're
are my
good.
favorite thing. Like get some mushrooms and some Gruyere in there. It's just phenomenal.
The food
Mosquito.
truck scene in Austin has to be done too.
Depends on the
The
depends
food
on
truck
mushroom.
scene.
Yeah, depends on the mushrooms.
Well, we can put the good ones in if you
I'll
like.
do Portobello and I'll do Mornell, but
It's the
Hen of the
best
Woods?
crepes ever.
but if you're talking about the mushrooms, I think you're talking about. I don't know how well those would cook, and I think you're better off just making the tea.
I've been kind of wanting to try those ones that are involved in the supernatural somehow.
Silas Simon,
Supernatural.
The magic mushrooms,
Yes.
supernatural.
A friend of mine actually made a mushroom pie out of those particular mushrooms and served it around the dinner table. And
What?
it was the best party you've ever seen in your life.
That's a mushroom pie?
A magic mushroom pie.
Completely magic mushrooms.
Well, no, it had some other
Didn't-
ingredients, but
Like, holy fuck, is he trying to kill them?
I told you, Neil, it was a fun party.
Yeah, okay.
And
I'm
I
busy for a month.
and I survived.
Okay,
You should
all right.
really try the pie. It's to die for.
That sounds like it would make the best YouTube video.
Totally does. Totally does.
What
Did anyone film
Meister
it?
said reminded me of the fact that-
Demonetization. Here we come.
What Meister said reminded me of the fact that pork used to need to be cooked to 165 degrees until they recently, like 10 years ago, rescinded on that. Well, 165 degrees on a pork chop means it's a hockey puck.
Yep.
And growing up, my parents would cook pork chops, and it would literally be like cutting through leather.
Oh, good lord.
Leather.
See,
A
in
little
Australia,
bone-in pork chop, though, just to die for.
one of Australia, funnily enough, is actually one of the countries statistically that has the highest rate of cooking competence, in that the largest portion of our population can cook, because barbecuing counts.
It does count. Of course it counts.
Yeah, and I can I
Food
had
over
really
fire,
good teachers.
whether it's
I had
electric, natural, it's all cooking.
Okay,
Here in Alabama, we
I
have
had
a
a
lot
lot
of
of great
people who
teachers
think they can
for that.
barbecue.
So that's how I learned.
Well,
Like I
now
will,
that
I will
you-
cook barbecues for family on like almost, or at least help most Saturdays. I've done them for big events, Christmas, Easter. So I can do a fairly mean barbecue depending on what people want.
Now, are you talking
Okay,
grilling
wait,
or
wait,
barbecuing?
wait.
Barbecuing.
Now that
So
you've
the
brought
gas
it
gas
up,
burner barbecue.
now that you've brought it up, I have to ask: has anyone ever actually said put another shrimp on the Barbie?
No.
Okay.
We
Except
don't
for
even.
Paul Hogan.
We also don't really call them shrimp. Most of the time, we just call them prawns.
Prawns. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
I have
So where did
actually
that
put prawns on the
stereotype come
barbecue.
from?
So it came
Crocodile
from an
Dundee.
ad. We tried to attract people to Australia with an ad to show us off, and the ad kind of ended with a guy, or it was at least some point, saying "pop another shrimp on the Barbie" or something like that. And despite the fact that no one in the
It's Paul
country actually
Hogan.
said it, it came out of there, I think, unless it was
see.
there beforehand. But that was the first time I ever heard it. So if I'm wrong,
Crocodile
someone
Dundee
please correct
did
me.
those. We got them here.
Uh,
Crocodile Dundee did those commercials. He's come on down to Australia. We'll throw another shrimp on the barbie for you.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
in my experience, there's no point putting shrimp on the Barbie because they just fall through and burn in the flame.
that's why you get the ones that are slightly curved, and then you leave the heads on. It makes it a bit bigger. You can fit it, or use the hot plate, because most barbecues here have a hot plate as well. So you got the grill.
It
and the
is.
hot plate.
It is Paul Hogan, but it's not him dressed up as Crocodile Dundee. It's just
No.
him in a yellow polo.
Yeah.
I found the
Yeah.
commercial.
If
Yeah.
I got any fiddly bits I got to worry about, I just put some cast iron by the fire in the barbecue. But yeah,
I remember
just
my
stick to,
grandfather-
like, hamburgers and stuff.
Yam burgers.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Hamburgers, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said yam burgers,
No,
like made out of yams.
no,
I'm like,
no.
what?
Why would you ever think that I, of all people, just because I was raised by hippies, you realize I reject their diet?
Yeah, I know.
I was
yeah,
about
you
to say,
mentioned that.
like, what in the Whole Foods hard-boiled hell were you just suggesting there?
I thought I heard yam burgers. It was just me. My
No.
ears are
You
broken.
should know me well enough to know I'd never say
That's
that.
that's why I said that with an element of what in my voice, like yam burgers. What?
Yeah,
Black bean burgers are pretty
I
good,
will
though.
stick to hamburgers and like that kind of stuff, barbecue stuff.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my god! This is the worst commercial I've ever seen in my life.
Did you look
you
for
bring
the
it up?
Australian one?
Can we watch it?
No,
Oh,
we can't watch it
no.
on there. I'll put it in the
No.
private chat though, and I'll put it in the chat. Oh
No,
my!
because every time fucking someone does that, I get a copyright strike of some kind.
Oh my god! I couldn't look away. It was awful. Everything. He puts on a Statue of Liberty thing. Do you remember that bit?
Oh, it's only a minute long.
It's bad.
No, doesn't matter. We put 30 seconds of gorillas from a BBC show, and 2 minutes after I ended the show, there was an email, BBC strike content or copyright struck your video. I'm like, what?
I've shown clips of movies for quite a few of my videos. I've never had a copyright strike from them, but again, I normally will have them as a square or
the people who request the copyright
different.
Strikes don't have to verify that you're actually breaking the copyright law. They just, have to say that's my content essentially.
Yeah, that's right.
So it doesn't have to violate anything.
I have disputed those successfully,
me too.
Fair use.
Me too.
It's just annoying to have to deal with.
I disputed that one we got. Remember when they were showing all the old school video commercials that we had, video game commercials? They sent me a copyright infringement. And what actually, all of them have been whatever they not the copyright strikes, but the infringements or whatever. And I battled the claim. That's right. So I went and I said, dude, the commercial you're showing is like fucking 300 years old because nobody cares. We're reminiscing about games. I said, I'll tell you what, I can put a little thing in the in the description box, with a link to your channel. How about that? He's like, oh yeah, I still haven't done it, but still I'll get to it eventually.
No, Mikey had me worried with my show because he tried to sing a parody of a popular song, and it's just like,
I'm very
very short. But
well, I'm not sure their algorithm is set up to detect you singing your own version of something.
Also, apparently you can get away with it a bit easier if it's like game music because they have to for people who live stream games.
Yep.
Oh no. Halo came for me because I tried to do like a campaign run and I watched the cutscene and they're like, yep, that video is coming down unless you mute all of this shit. I'm like, all right, I'm not muting the whole damn video. So whatever, just take the whole thing down. Yeah. I was like, how are you supposed to play the game with he talks and then the song's in the background? I don't know what to do about that.
The Cyberpunk 2077 game, they actually have an option you can tick that says no copyrighted music. So that way, you can show your video and not get a strike.
Cool.
I mean, I'm not going to say the game is good otherwise, but they did that.
Didn't everyone's non-favorite Cupcake put Halo music in one of his videos? Matt Powell didn't. I'm pretty sure I've heard Halo when he tried one of his. Was it Vice Rhino or someone else or Godless Engine? Someone was debunking him, and I think they identified that it was like Halo music.
If I remember correctly, Rhino did mention that he did recently, though. This wasn't be recently, would it?
I think so.
Oh, then it was probably the one he was talking about. Okay. Yeah, he mentioned that he had an issue with that. Something was going on with Matt Powell. Fuck. I tend to not watch Matt Powell because he's a goof. But
I watch people debunking him. I'm never going to watch straight up.
He's come on to my shows like in the chats before and wanting to fucking have a go with me, and I'm like, piss off.
That's not what this is for, man. Just fuck you.
I know. Darth Dawkins does it. Otangelo does it. Powell's done it, and a couple others. And it's like, just get out of here. This isn't a debate channel.
Yeah, and I've seen a few of them do it on V's little show where they prep for their other shows. C'est La Vie. I've seen people pop in there trying to get people to debate them, and it's just like,
I was
this is a social thing.
Yeah. I was watching one of Godless Granny shows, and I ended up it was Tangelo showed up in the chat, and he was trying to have a go at he was having gut science, and of course my brain was just like, nope, I'm not letting this fly. So he kept trying to talk about how DNA and biology shows a designer, and I was like, can you stick to physics? I'm a physicist. Hit me with your best physics. And he kept dodging the question, and it was just like, seriously, you're not gonna come on. He had all these copy-pasted responses, but they weren't for what I was asking for, so he couldn't answer. But I'm just like, how do you spend your life doing that?
It's what these people do, though. They find out what you're an expert in, and they try to get you on something else.
Which is why what I should do.
Best arguments.
What I should do is let them start with physics, because but it's a bit more obvious for me because I don't know, this side. But I also have a background in chemistry, so what I should do is try and use, follow them down that rabbit hole and they'll be like, oh, what do we got here? Angelo is a human.
Could we body snatch more people like that then? Like, I'd hate to think that there was a possibility of people like Otangelo having children.
So this is what I'm curious about, because a lot of them, they talk about science in a way that I'm like, I've never heard a scientist talk like that. So, and a lot of these shows, people handle it really, really well. But what I'd love to do is on someone's channel, because my channel is not for that topic. I just do science. Is actually have a chat with them where I ask them about what they think the scientists have said, because I can turn around and be like, I study this. I live inside a science building, and no, nobody talks like that. Or actually, finally, you got something right, because like they've got to get something right at some point. But I'd be very curious to have a chat.
Historically, church leaders, especially in America, do this special process where they talk about science in a way to make sense to their congregation using a special method called making shit the fuck up.
I might have heard of that before. I think that's. Let me check my notes. I think I've heard.
You would get that from Ken Ham.
Every time they talk about like creationism and everything and evolution, their image of evolution is so warped that when anyone who actually understands it tries to defend it, they're defending something that the fundy doesn't understand. They're like, why aren't you defending apes turning into men?
Because we don't think that happens. I mean,
exactly. But they can't understand the argument from what it actually is.
That's why I think
because it doesn't match the parody they've been fed.
Which is why I think it might actually serve, as long because I wouldn't go on their channels for it, because there have to be a good moderator. Why I think not necessarily as a debate, but as a good discussion between. I think it might make a good video if I had myself or someone else, the science who actually does science for a living, actually had a chat with one of them to not necessarily, because they're not probably going to change their mind, but just as like something to put out there, not necessarily a debate, but just like the understanding and the way scientists think. It might be worth it. I think you could get something, because then you can talk about, because I know plenty of scientists who are religious and I get on with them fine. Like they understand science very well. Some of them are brilliant scientists. But,
I'd like to see
and I think it would. Yeah, I think it would make a great discussion. So if there's anyone listening in the chat, I will happily volunteer myself to talk with these people. As painful as that might be on occasion, I think the video would definitely be interesting to make. So, and if any of them are sitting there and they want to talk to me as a scientist and see whether they can either steal man, straw man, whatever that, I'm happy to do that. So,
I would love to see a discussion like that with some people on the sidelines doing live fact checking.
Yeah, I would happily be. I'll volunteer myself for that. So, but
I'd volunteer for that, but I don't know shit about fuck. So,
I'd volunteer.
Well, maybe you can be my Google assistant.
I mean, I do know how to. My Google foo is strong.
Yeah, that's what I'd need, because it'd be like, okay, I think I know what topic this is on. Can you just double check this for me?
Yeah.
But
I do know that Google Scholar exists, so.
Yes.
Oh, that's a wonderful resource for me.
I mean, Sydney Uni has the largest database in the Southern Hemisphere for so I can get pretty much everything.
Great website to go to for any scientific papers is the Clarivate website. They have everything you can imagine. You want to look up peer-reviewed papers? They're a great site for that.
I have this.
Neil, I can't remotely tell how that's spelled. Can you drop that in the live chat or something?
I have the Swedish variety of that is free and doesn't even require a login. So I'll see if I can find that.
I speak about 10 words of Swedish, but all right.
No, it's all in English, but it's the Swedish university system has all of the academic papers and every single textbook ever created for free, available online.
So it's the Clarivate website is the Master Journal List, and I sent you the link to the home page for.
And surprisingly, JSTOR gives you 100 free reads every month. So you can get on JSTOR and read through 100 articles a month,
Nice.
even as a non-academic.
Yeah, I'm currently going for my master's, so I got access to the library. But that's a good thing to volunteer for. Honestly, that sounds more my beat than anything else.
Dr. Jartan? What happened to that guy, anyways?
I haven't seen him in a minute.
Jartan? Yeah, he got into it with Godless Sewing the other day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I told him he's got to finish up. He did part of his apology tour, but he'll finish the rest eventually.
Yeah, he apologized to me. So did Godless Sewing, but said, you guys got to deal with each other. Don't apologize to me. I know it was my show that it happened on, and that can't really be a thing. We don't want that kind of shit going down here. But
like the argument I had with Rags the other day. That's as far as I'll go. the little bidding war.
Yeah, that was fun, and that was for a good cause, and I appreciate that too, John. But,
yeah, and I loved how I ended it with donating the $6.04 because it's like you can't do it. No matter how much money he donated after that, he couldn't top that.
That was the correct answer.
Yep.
We could have done $604.
Yeah, but that's a little much.
I've known him a while, and I date him, and I know how things are for him. No, he couldn't.
Wow. Okay. I'm saying it was an option, not that he had the ability to choose it.
I don't know.
All right. I'm doing $604,000.
There you go.
You know what? If I ever become, one of those multimillionaires, I will consider doing that for Neil.
No, if I become a billionaire,
no. Because Neil, I know what kind of person you are. I would be interested in seeing what you would do with that money.
I know. I could tell you exactly what I'd do with it.
A gummy the size of BC.
No. I would upgrade my ride, get a better ride, and the rest of it would go to the Ronald McDonald House or Children's Hospital here in Vancouver. I make decent money, so all that extra cash, I could give it to somebody else that could use it.
You wouldn't hire a hooker and have sex on a pile of money just once first?
No interest in doing that.
Oh.
Ask me maybe 20 years ago.
I know you can't Scrooge McDuck swim through piles of money, but I would hire somebody to build me a set with fake money that I could swim through like that.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, just imagine diving into a big pile of metal coins.
Yeah,
that would go great.
It's like Family Guy does that, don't they? He jumps off and it lands.
Humor or something.
Nothing like it.
He's all fucked up, like a bone sticking out of his arm and shit. They did. Have you guys? Speaking of DuckTales, have you guys seen those anatomically correct cartoons?
What?
Anatomically correct DuckTales. Woo!
Does it talk about corkscrew penises?
Oh, Kate, do yourself a favor and Google anatomically correct DuckTales. It'll lead you to all the other ones.
I think that sounds like a favor if I don't do that.
They're hilarious, man. They're awesome.
I don't even want to get to rescue rangers with that crap. I don't know.
Well, they do mention this corkscrew penises, so or something like that with the mallard.
Tailspin, anatomically correct tailspin. Ugh.
Talking of money, Neil, I just discovered last week that I'm related to Bill Gates.
What?
Yeah.
Well, give him a call. Where's my money?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Where's my money?
Where's my favorite relative money?
It goes back to Governor John Winthrop of Massachusetts in the early 17th century, and I can trace it back from that. So I'm thinking, actually, given the amount of I don't know, what's he worth? 95 billion or something?
Cut that in half.
145.
Yeah,
I think
That-
that's
that-
in his pocket right now. But
Cut
Yeah.
that in half. Him and Melinda are getting a divorce.
Now wait a
Apparently
minute.
they had a
Wait a minute.
prenup.
Wait a minute. I don't know if we can talk about their divorce. It might not be PC. Sorry, I stole that from George Takei, so it's not my fault if it's not funny.
I'd be happy with 1 billion. That would be fine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I need. 1 billion.
That might buy me a house in Sydney.
Sounds like the house prices here in Vancouver too.
Al,
you'd like
if I
this house?
just-
$5.5 million. What? It's a fucking rancher. I don't care. $5.5 million.
Yeah,
My favorite thing about
Sydney-
house hunters is they're like, this guy is unemployed for the last 3 weeks, and this lady is like like special ed teacher that makes $20,000 a year. Budget $6 million.
Yeah, it's like what do you? I collect bubbles. And what about you? I rate things on Instagram. It's like, no, how the hell is your budget $10 million?
Called the
How?
lottery.
Well, have you seen how much money people make on unboxing videos, for fuck's sake?
They're just an
I
ad, a 20, 30-minute long ad. That's all.
Yeah,
they
I
are.
wish
It's
I
crazy.
could get in on that. I wish I would have
Somebody
got in on that.
calculated out how much Zoe Sugg makes per Instagram picture that she takes, and it's something like $150,000 for every picture she posts.
Oh, Jesus,
It's
Harold Christ.
ridiculous.
We're doing it
But-
wrong.
Yeah, like it's expected that by December here, the median house price, despite
Yeah, well,
COVID, is going to be
I have-
1.4 million.
Here, I have my unboxing knife. Mikey has one similar.
Yeah.
So do
Excellent.
I. All my own unboxing videos, I have a knife too for those.
Sweet, I'm with you.
But
It's as close as I can get.
The really
Oh.
depressing part is
My
that
Leatherman's in my car.
I could try to sell out, but nobody wants to buy.
You have a good
Well,
tool,
here's an idea.
Irish Swede.
Like even if I wanted to sell out, I couldn't.
Of course,
Mine
We,
even has a saw.
of
Yeah.
course, too.
Oh, you got the Leatherman wave?
Got that one.
So me
Got all
and
the
Jonathan,
tools.
have talked about this. Adam Savage's from Mythbusters, his fucking tested is like pornography. If you're any sort of like builder or tinkerer or anything like that, he made an entire video about his. It's called Leatherman, right? Well, he
Yeah.
was pissed off because he couldn't do different things with it, so he wanted to like get the specs from the company because he wanted to modify it so it would do more things that he wanted, and they were against it 100%, and they wouldn't work with him on it. But it was more like a whole kind of like, if once you buy something, it should be yours. Like if it's your cell phone, if it's your anything, once you buy the technology, it should be yours to modify it or change it however you like. And that was like the larger scope of the video. But
Yeah, if you want the best woodworking shop that you'll ever see, go back to This Old House and look at Norm Stewart's or Norm McDonald's shop.
Norm McDonald,
I have a particularly soft spot in my heart for Roy Underhill, the Woodwright shop.
the Woodwright. Yep, that's my guy.
Yep. And as far as that go, there are a few people I would recommend on YouTube who got interesting things going on. Steve Gackros, wooden
Norm
hand plane maker. Yeah.
Norm Abram is his name. Sorry.
Yeah. Mr. Chickadee.
You're not talking about Norm McDonald?
No.
You're not talking about him? Okay.
But, if you guys want to make money, what we could do right here after the show is, meet up and like get
I
our
tried
stories
that. They
straight
just throw pennies at me.
and just, reconvert and claim we all had a group spiritual experience and write a book about it and go on tour.
Yeah, I
Oh.
can't do that actually. I was never religious to begin with, so I'd have to be converted by one of you.
Yeah, that would just add authenticity to it.
I'll fake
'cause
convert you.
we all converted back because we saw the light, and our conversion was so compelling that it brought you in as well.
Mhm.
There we go.
For thus saith the Lord. Thou shalt count to three. Three being the number thou shalt count.
I've often said that if I was going to be religious, I want to be a Lex Lutheran.
Yeah. But, we could just have like the best apologetic in the world. Okay. But it happens off screen. So anything we talk about afterwards, nobody can, critique the best apologetic in the world, because it's not the best apologetic in the world. It's a tribute when we talk about it.
This is just a tribute.
Exactly.
See, growing up
Tribute to the
Lutheran,
greatest song in the world.
when people say "May the Force be with you," you just have to reply, "And also with you."
The interview's over, P. But we can get an answer for this one. Do you think Australia is ready to become a republic?
I was just going to answer the chat and I realized that I could do that, man. Not yet, because we'd need to sober up for the next referendum.
Besides, the last
look,
remnants of the old republic haven't been swept away yet.
That's right.
Well, the thing with the Republic, though, is that we did actually have one referendum and it was voted no, but it was because it was worded really, really specifically. Like, it was like a referendum, like it was like a republic with this, this, and this, and people were like, oh, that's too specific. So I'm not sure, but a lot of the times it's been brought up, they don't want to change too much of our political structure. We just kind of replace our Governor General with a president. So it's a bit hard because it's a debate that's been going on for a long time. And I think if they did it, most Australians would be like, okay.
Yeah, fine.
It would depend on how they do it, which was, I think, the point of that previous referendum failing was it depends how. So just switching to a republic, yeah. I think a lot of people would be happy with that. Change the flag.
So what you eating there, Matthew? JR wants to know if it's a roux wrap.
No, it's a pork bun, actually. We had a couple.
That's what I thought. I was just going to say, is that a pork bun? Because I just had a couple earlier.
Yeah, because I've only got a few more minutes. Yeah, and then I'll need to be back in the lab. So I'm like, I may as well eat something. Because it's lunchtime here.
I'm getting like exhausted, so I'll probably bring this to the game.
One last question for Matthew, if I may.
Sure. No. Of course you can. It's your birthday.
Thank you. Matthew, have you ever been involved in nuclear physics?
No, they don't really do much with nuclear here. Even one of the lecturers has had to sign a paper because he can't really teach it because people got upset when they heard the word nuclear. So there isn't much.
Really?
But my area is spectroscopy. I deal a lot with lasers and using them.
Cool.
Right. Okay. I mean, very, very quickly, because I know Neil wants to close up. The reason I asked is a cousin of mine was a nuclear physicist, and just before he died, he turned around to me and said, "I was responsible for Iran's nuclear weapons program," but he was actually quite proud of it. And was actually awarded the OBE by Her Majesty the Queen.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh,
wow.
I'd love to have a chat with someone like that.
Well, that blew up in his face. Never mind.
So long as it doesn't blow up anywhere else.
Yeah. Fuck, those gummies are starting to kick in now.
Just sort of finishing up a vape cartridge right now.
Nice.
If it wasn't obvious.
Oh, fuck. We got one of these days. As soon as they open the border, Kate, I'm fucking beelining it to your place and we're just going to blaze our faces off. It's going to be hilarious.
That'll be awesome. I just like got my place all cleaned up after the whole pandemic thing, like for a good long time, it was like floor to ceiling with Amazon boxes. And now it's actually mildly pristine, so I could have guests.
Here, I'll show you something here. Well, hang on. I'll be right back real quick because
I got 2 minutes and then I'll actually have to physically run down to my lab.
Okay, well,
I don't actually have a couch because I got rid of it, so I had more room for VR.
Nice. this is the kind of things that I hear, and I said, "This is why we're friends." I wish I could do that. I don't have the room here for that shit. But Matthew, before you take off to go do work and stuff, I get you. You were talking about mass spec earlier. I do ICAP myself, looking for the heavy metals and stuff and oil samples and whatnot.
Okay.
Like vanadium, yttrium, that kind of shit, cadmium, all the stuff that you might find. So they can only be up to a specific level before they can send it in for recycling. So, yeah, and gas chromatography, looking for PCB contamination. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. That was very interesting. Yeah, maybe we can have a chat about that sometime.
Sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All right.
But yeah, thanks for joining me today.
I had good fun today, actually. It's nice. Probably the best. It was also the best day for it these few weeks. So it worked out well.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed to just because we had it scheduled earlier, by the way, guys. But because my mom had the whole thing start up, I was like, I can't do it. I got to go see mom. He understood. He's like, well, we'll figure it out. And we had a tentative date for today, but it tended to work out perfectly. So what did I say? God's light was shining on us today. Is that
Oh, no, sorry. I just left my lamp on.
Oh, is that what that was? Okay, I was confused.
Nice to meet you, Matthew.
You too.
All the best. All the best to you.
All right. And on that note, I think I'm going to have to run, but thanks everyone for having me on. I had good fun.
Pleasure.
Thanks, Neil.
I'll have a thank you tweet out so you can look for that and give it a like or whatever.
Yeah.
or you go, fuck you, Neil. I hate you now.
Maybe we can organize that discussion on someone's channel. So if someone has any suggestions on where to organize that, I'll happily help.
Sure. That'd be cool.
For sure.
All right.
All right.
Catch you like the plague.
Catch you like the new variants of COVID.
No. Canceled. Everyone's canceled.
Oh, stop it, Jonathan.
Everyone.
He keeps canceling me.
Mikey, I won't cancel you this time.
I'll just resubscribe. It's okay.
They're coming for me.
Oh, chill. That's an ambulance.
They're coming for me. They're gonna make me be healthy.
Well, you did show your knife, Mikey, didn't you?
I did.
It's an ambulance. I'm telling you. I know that siren.
Damn it, they're coming for me then.
Do you know how to get out of here?
Got a long ass drive. I'm in San Diego.
All right. Okay, guys, I'm gonna head.
All right.
Take care.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
Yay.
All right, he's gone. Let's talk about him.
He was
Cool guy.
awesome. I like him.
Smart dude.
I like him a lot. We'd had a little bit of interaction before I asked him to come on the show. And I'd seen him on with Nervardia and stuff before. But yeah, he's smart, man. And I call myself a hack chemist because, I'm basically trained to do what I do. And I know some chemistry, but if I'm going to have to talk to a guy who's got like a degree in it, I'm going to feel like an asshat.
If you lived in Canada, if you didn't live in Canada, I'd ask if your job was making meth.
No.
Yeah. I was thinking, well, I know some chemistry.
No, I do actually. I do have not a degree, but I have a certificate in chemistry, so I'm okay. But one of the guys I work with, or used to work with, he's no longer with the company. He's a manager. Mikey's fallen asleep. Either that, or he's really stoned and staring at the ceiling.
No, my neck is
beige.
My neck is killing me today.
Oh, really?
So I've just been trying to stretch.
They call me Walter
but they
White
won't do it
at work.
Yeah.
So, if that means anything, they call me Walter White there now. So,
nice.
I mean, the flight path from Hoth to Alderán's got to be killer. So
Oh, so many turns. I don't know. I think I tried to take a little cat nap on the couch, and that was a mistake.
it can make it worse,
Yeah,
and, we didn't even do around the horn tonight.
Wait, that's true.
You want to do a quick one, and then it's about 20 minutes, and then I
Quick around the horn about how to show
No one
us.
gives a rat's ass who I am anyway, so.
Yes, they do. But you haven't really put much up recently.
That's true, but that's because animation takes a while.
Yeah, that one I'm looking forward to. When you do the next project, you gotta let me know. I want to voice something.
Okay. And you did offer to do the trailer. I haven't scripted the trailer yet, but you did offer, so.
I did, yeah. If you want someone to do that, I'll do that. No problem. You mean the whole in a world thing, right?
Yeah, totally. Well, one thing that I've been trying to get feedback on this, but people keep misunderstanding it. I've been thinking about setting this thing in a year 2000, kind of the way the Goldbergs is set in 1980 something. Mm-hmm. To suggest that it's an alternate year, like timeline where the year 2000 was the one we were promised as kids. And I was asking people, like, could you accept that at face value, or would you overanalyze it to death?
That'd be awesome. That sounds exactly like my cousin's book that he wrote, All Our Wrong Todays.
Okay.
Which he goes, this is it starts out where he's like, he's talking to the reader. He's like, yeah, this isn't the way things are supposed to be. I kind of fucked everything up. We're supposed to have like the flying cars and the and all that stuff. But because of a stupid thing that I did, yada, yada, back. And he goes through the whole explanation of how everything got screwed up. And we ended up with the future we have now. So, it's similar to that, but it's on Audible, and it's really creepy because it's my cousin reading me the book. It's like, wow. Well, at least you're getting all the inflections right because he wrote them.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why I won't do audiobooks is like, what if in my head a character name or something is pronounced differently? But I don't know if you've ever read The Belgariad and the Malorian by David Eddings, but I've had arguments with people about how to pronounce some of the names in those books. And my logic is sound, but they insist up and down that the wrong pronunciation. Anyway, I'd hate to be listening to an audiobook and constantly wincing every time a name I know very well in my head is mispronounced.
Yeah. But I'm sure that they go over that with you before you start doing the readings.
Well, but anyway.
My stars are going incredibly fast on here.
That's the edibles, I think, Mikey.
No, and on the screen where I'm with you guys, they're like spinning. And then on mine, it's just very slowly proceeding back.
You're more
it's the edibles, Mikey.
Than I am.
I haven't had any.
No, they're really good edibles, Mikey.
There you go.
Start affecting your perception.
Just to that last question, yes, if you add 40 to that, you're getting close.
You're in the ballpark. That is weird.
That's right. I keep forgetting you're closer to my age. Yeah, but you don't have one of these yet, though, do you, Rory? You don't have one of these where you can yell at the neighborhood kids with it. Get off my lawn!
No, but I do have one of these.
It's a gun.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
What's that?
Oh, where's the camera gone? There we go. It's known as a swagger stick.
Oh, yeah, swagger stick.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's on your arm like that. There we go. That's extremely useful. You only have to wave it at the dog, and he does as commanded.
Also traditionally used for beating soldiers who are out of line.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to put, as it's YouTube, I do not beat my dog with it.
You don't have to.
Whose dog do you beat with it then?
Yeah. The neighbors.
Right.
Now you're getting personal. So,
Wow.
are you talking about flagellation?
Aren't we?
What? Maybe.
I didn't mean self-flagellation. I meant actually thwacking an animal with a stick. Literally.
I do thwack myself from time to time.
Oh, really?
Oh, we weren't getting personal.
Yeah.
I retract that last statement. Yep, absolutely.
Holy crap, Roy. Fuck, I need a
I'm
smoke
just
now.
going to be over here not thinking about any of this.
It's just too late. Yeah, we can't go back now.
Nothing lasts forever. I'm sorry, I can't be perfect.
Appropriate. All right. Anybody got around the horn? Any ideas? Neil, you got anything cooking in the hopper back there? Me neither, man. I got to get some Aleve in my system. My old man neck.
Your old man, listen to you.
This is what happens.
So for around the horn, it's just a question that we all got to answer, right?
Yeah, generally it's something that's fun. You know, like if they made a movie of your life, who would play you? That kind of thing, right?
If you could curse your worst enemy with a mild inconvenience, what would be the mild inconvenience?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh yeah. I want that one. Can we do that one?
Sure. Why don't we start with you?
Start with me.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would curse them to have just 10 cents less in their bank account than what they need to make their purchases for the day.
That is mildly inconvenient.
Yeah.
But you might be able to reach.
You know, they gotta like shuffle money from their savings so they're checking like every day.
Every single day because it would happen every day.
Yep.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're on my side.
Yes.
I would
Cheers.
have them trip up the top step and trip down the bottom step on every flight of stairs for the rest of their lives.
That's painful. That could
Potentially deadly, actually.
Yeah.
No. The bottom step. So they're not falling down a bunch of
Yeah,
steps,
but when
just
you're
that last
70?
Matter.
Okay. Everyone gets to have fun but me. I get it now. Fine.
No.
Fine.
You could
All
have
we
fun.
has-
Just something a little less lethal.
Yeah. Why don't we go clockwise and you can think about what you want to say?
Sit
Neil?
in the corner and think about what you're. No.
Clockwise would mean Neil's next.
Yep.
Oh, me next. I haven't even put any thought into it.
Let's go counterclockwise then.
How about
go
this?
counterclockwise then.
How about yeah, go counterclockwise because I had an idea earlier and now I can't remember what it was.
So does that make it me then?
Yes.
Yep.
that makes it you.
All right. Every device that this guy uses for vanity, be it girdle or toupee or whatever, will consistently malfunction at the most embarrassing moment possible.
So the toupee will a gust of wind will.
Just take it
Flap it
right
out.
off, or a seagull grabs it or some shit. Yeah.
Or like you're using those little shirt garters and just standing up and like they let go of the sock really quick and thump you in the stones.
You've thought about this way too hard.
5 words. And
I know someone happened
plenty of
to.
that, but okay. But yeah, just really like the cord on the back of the girdle lets go, and the gut just Yeah.
I think the only guy I've seen wearing a girdle is Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, I'm thinking of William Shatner here, but all right.
Okay.
Good man.
I would curse
Good man,
William Shatner with that, actually.
No, love William Shatner. Good man.
Ah, he's evil. He must be
No,
destroyed.
I've seen him on
before
Twitter,
he's
and I'm
no
not a
less.
fan.
All right, Rory, what do you got?
Right. Okay. I guess I would put some sugar in his car.
That's not a mild inconvenience.
No, wait, I haven't finished yet. Yep, I would pour a pound of sugar, into his petrol tank, and then I would stuff a potato up his exhaust, with all the force I could.
Let that be a lesson to him.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's not a mild inconvenience.
One potato, which certainly is, because you couldn't drive your car again, could you?
Nope. Nope.
Well, that's much more than a minor inconvenience, though. I think a minor inconvenience would be if you took that pound of sugar and spread it all over the floor of the car so it attracts ants, lots and lots of ants. That'd be a minor inconvenience.
Or every time they opened up the flour package to put it in their container, because they do a lot of baking, it would just rip open and it would go everywhere.
I have a new answer.
Okay, Mikey.
Every time that they put on fresh socks, the first step they took would be into something wet.
Oh,
Perfect.
Oh.
All right, Hitler, take your Xanax.
Oh, that actually gave me an idea.
Wet socks are the worst.
I have two, and these are the two that I would always curse with people. Number one is everywhere they go, they have a half a gallon less gas than they actually need to get to wherever they're going. Always.
Oh.
They always have to stop for gas.
Oh, that's like on the level with my little bank account thing.
Number two is both sides of the pillow are always too warm.
No!
I've always had the opposite problem that my pillows are cold.
I love the cold pillows. I'm the only guy in the building that sleeps with his windows open in the winter, and it's like -12 or something.
I sleep better in the cold.
Everybody always flips their pillow over at least once or twice in the middle of the night to get the cool side of the pillow.
I never do. I don't have to.
2 pillows, dog.
I don't have to.
Now, every pillow in the house will always be 2 to 5 degrees too warm.
No!
All
All right, Neil.
All right. I got one. I got a couple. One of them, you gave me the idea with the whole socks and stepping in water and stuff. Every time this person wakes up in the morning, there's always going to be a piece of Lego right where he's going to put his feet.
Oh, so I was
minor
bad with the stairs. You're talking about literal murder with a Lego piece.
That's just annoying. That's not going to kill you.
Shit.
Unless it's the Batman helmet. Then we got.
That's what I'm saying. Take him out.
And the other one is the Venetian blinds will never be perfect. So no matter what time you're trying to watch TV, there's always going to be that sunlight across.
Oh no!
Oh, you're a bad man.
Neil, who hurt you?
So I got that.
It was my father.
So after I put together those fucking those nightstands, when I was in the other room, and then like that bookshelf and all that stuff, I put together the bed too, right? And the bed's got a big LED bar across it, and I strategically put the TV on the side of the room that it is on now, so that there wouldn't be the glare like you're talking about. So I'm laying in bed, I'm like, turned on the LEDs, big green strip across the TV now. And I was like, son of a bitch. This big useless fucking thing I just bought. Well, at least now I can change the color of the strip that goes across, annoying light across the TV now.
Oh, I remember the one I was thinking of earlier now. Whenever every time you go to brush your teeth, there's always not quite enough toothpaste for you. Every time you go to just like a little tiny bit. And that's like the worst.
I hate not having enough
toothpaste. The ones that I always hear too is every time you have to pass gas, it's always just rank but silent.
But silent.
That's my day. That's my life.
I got one. Every time you order something for food, it will always be slightly different than what you ordered. It will never be the exact thing.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah, I've given up on correct food.
Yeah.
Actually,
okay. Every restaurant you go to makes food that like ordinary people eat, except there's one ingredient that's just a fucking deal breaker. You know, like that. They add that one spice you can't stand, or that one bit of meat where you're just like, ew, no. It's every time you go to a restaurant, there's something foul in every dish.
I don't think I have any actual food that's a deal breaker for me.
We'll figure something out.
No, I do cilantro. I like it.
I can't do peas.
I love
I
peas.
can do pea soup, but not peas.
Well, pea soup is basically bacon soup. I mean, it's
Exactly.
Yes, Rory.
I was just going to mention, Neil, talking of socks. I once went to Las Vegas, and it was so bloody hot around the pool area that you couldn't walk around the pool area without burning your feet. So naturally, I put my socks on. I was the only person, being an Englishman, who actually wore his socks to the pool area. And I looked around at all these Americans. I thought, what are you doing? You're frying your feet.
Flip-flops.
Nobody wearing flip-flops?
Flip-flops, Rory.
Yeah.
That's
Is that the answer?
Yeah, you
I've
wear
never-
flip-flops to the pool.
I've never bought a pair of flip-flops in my life, Mikey.
Well, next time you're in Vegas,
Yeah.
let me know. I'll have a pair shipped over to you.
Yeah, we got
That's
Google
extremely-
Eats. He'll get it for you.
Yep.
That's extremely kind of you, Mikey. Thank you.
They're like
that
about-
are-
Now I'm going to do
Crocs
this Family Feud style and say, here's what the rest of the people said for their what's behind the other doors.
Okay.
Survey says.
Any door a person tries to open, it will always be the wrong way.
Oh
No
no, I hate that.
But be
This
labeled that way.
This person's keys are never where they left them. They're not gone or lost. They're just never where you put them last.
How would rotating doors work that way?
Oh, well, there's a question.
Goes the other way.
Who's been stuck in a revolving door?
No.
I have.
My friends are jerks.
Every time this person takes a shit, they get massive backsplash.
No. No,
Well,
too far.
Okay. Every time they get to an elevator, the door just barely closes.
Oh, there's like a little gap.
Like they get there just in time to not be in time.
Or every elevator you get into for the rest of your life, somebody just farted in.
Having to write a CAPTCHA every time you text message someone.
Oh no, that's not no. No.
Oh, that's
There's always one less step on
your
the stairs than they expect.
Your cell phone doesn't allow you to make custom entries, so you will always have to change it from duck.
Are you ducking kidding me right now?
There's always one less step on the stairs than you expect.
That's
more
kind
or
of
less
in
what
line with Mikey, yeah.
That's what I was after.
The pockets of their jeans are large enough for a phone, but tight enough so it's always uncomfortable and just terrible when you walk.
They'll never be able to get their glasses prescription just right.
That's just evil.
Yeah.
Self-service checkout would have a fit for every item. Unexpected item in bagging area. Approval needed for every goddamn thing you put through.
So 2013.
Oh, that's just horrible.
Every time you crawl into bed, you have to pee.
That happens to me anyway.
Oh, I got one. So as soon as you get comfy on the couch, you look up and the remote is right there on the entertainment center across the room. You just look up at the TV and there's the remote right there.
Mikey.
Oh, your search history pops up every time your mother walks by.
Oh,
No.
that's why I got this.
Well,
My remote-
unfortunately, my parents don't live anywhere near me, so
Neil.
Any hot meal that you eat will always be a little bit frozen in the middle.
Like, even if you just start with regular food that was in the fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
still
frozen.
There's always one more bag that you can carry in one trip from the car. You can never do it in one trip.
Oh no! Wow.
I have not taken multiple trips from my car in over 20 years. I will not start now.
I'll put that shit on my head if I have to.
Every time you go to use ketchup, no matter how much you shake it, that clear residual tomato fluid just leaks everywhere.
Boy, can you still get ketchup in glass bottles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that shit. Love that shit.
That was an art to getting that shit out of there.
Every time you
Yes,
get into your
But it says
car,
best before 1979, though. Just so you know.
every time you get into your car, the seat is adjusted just uncomfortably.
Well, how would that even happen?
Doesn't matter. You're cursing them. This is
Like
For the Mini, I have to. I've never had a manual transmission car. I have to pull the seat all the way back every time, and then pull it all the way up, just because I have to engage the clutch. So if I have it like regularly, my foot's doing this. I'm like on the clutch, but the gas and brake are fine. So I have to scoot all the way up, and then I try and get out of the car, and I'm just like, and I'm trapped inside this like little roller skate. But
there's
First world problems.
always a 15-second ad, unskippable ad on YouTube.
Oh, God.
That's pretty much the norm nowadays, anyways.
And
Yeah.
ad block does not work.
Of course it doesn't.
When does it?
Whoa.
Oh, here's one. May your sauce never stick to your pasta.
Oh. That's just
That's
cruel.
just evil.
monsters.
Oh, you're
Every
killing me.
mouse
You're
click
killing
you
me.
do is an accidental double click.
Wait, say that again?
Every mouse click you do is an accidental double click.
Oh, fuck. That's
You know
more
what?
than a minor inconvenience.
just everything you drink tastes like lime Go-Gurt.
Ugh. What?
Actually, I had key lime yogurt today. Key lime Greek yogurt. It was
I
fucking
love that
phenomenal.
stuff. It's great.
Oh yeah, it's so
Would
good.
you go with like oikos or
Yes, exactly.
that is some good shit.
Man, I can't eat regular yogurt anymore.
No, but I love the Greek yogurt and it's got
Yeah.
more like protein and stuff in it. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good shit.
It's real good.
Every time you put a new roll of toilet paper on the holder, the glue that holds the first square onto the roll causes it to split down the middle, and it cannot be fixed.
Oh.
You're just cursing somebody who never have a toilet paper roll. They just have toilet paper pieces. Like
Yeah,
I was-
or
shit
free
tickets.
shred.
Every time you use clear packing tape, you lose the edge and it lands flat on there, and it's completely smooth.
Every time you eat your favorite food, it is always just a little less satisfying. It's not terrible. It's just a little bit less every time.
That's real life, though.
Yeah, that is real life.
Not if you cook for yourself and get better every single time. Side note, I got a phenomenal Alfredo
You're live
recipe
on
that I
camera,
have
by the
learned
way.
since I was like 12. So
You perpetually have the feeling of a popcorn kernel stuck in your teeth.
Oh,
Oh,
my
damn.
God. That is the worst.
Everyone becomes a slow talker when you interact with them.
Oh, you're really
Music these
Is
evil
always
people that
in a
think this
genre
shit
you
up.
can't stand.
you're bringing up some real trauma here, sweet.
okay, every time you find a new drink that you like, it goes out of the
Oh.
company makes it
Oh,
just takes it out of
just continue.
circulation.
This has been happening to me left and right, and I am so fucking pissed off. Oh, my
sorry,
God.
I did that to you.
I only recently got able to drink caffeine again, and I like usually hate cranberry, but I tried the cranberry Red Bull, and oh my fucking God, it was so goddamn
Oh, that
good.
shit is so good.
and
I don't even like Red Bull.
immediately discontinued.
Yeah, that was a trial run.
I had a scare with the Monster Peach Tea Rehab. Love that shit. I thought they were stopping carrying that off the shelves, but it turns out they were just making changes to the packaging.
Every time you pee, you dribble after you get your pants pulled up.
That's not everybody anyway.
Yeah, that's a wait. Yeah, that's a curse for bad things that don't.
There's a trick, Mikey. I'll tell you about it when we're not live.
All right.
Your
That was
butthole
fun.
violently itches every time you talk.
Oh,
What?
All right, I'm tapping out. You're done, sweet. You're
we're
done.
seriously getting beyond the realm of
Sweet.
minor inconvenience.
If you want to play a magic user in my campaign for Dungeons and Dragons, I'll let you make some homebrew spells.
Can I go home now?
Who thinks this shit up?
Swede is writing these down. He's just reading a
Oh,
Word
he's
document.
reading them off the internet.
No,
Like
this is a Word document. That is not from the website anymore. This is his list.
Oh, come on. This is off Reddit.
Oh,
No matter
even
when
worse.
they leave, how much traffic they hit, what the weather is like, or what form of transportation they're taking, they will always be 5 minutes late.
That's me anyway.
Well, wait a minute, though. Actually, that could be really convenient. I mean,
yeah, I was just thinking the same
you
thing.
know, it's like traffic is absolutely terrible. I am just gonna leave whenever, like right before the event starts. I'll get there in 5 minutes.
You never have just enough water pressure, whether it's the sink, shower, whatever. It's always just a little bit less than what you'd want.
Evil. Like, even if you were to go into a river or something,
The beaver's damming up upstream. All right.
If there's ever two competing formats, they always back the one that loses. You know, they're Betamax perpetually.
Yeah. Mute Swede.
Every time a single USB device is tried to be plugged in, it takes a minimum of 23 times to get it right.
It's the superposition of a USB. It's like I tried it this way. No, I tried it that way. No,
I think I peed
That
just a
way.
little bit.
that way again.
I use USB-C and I still have to take it out and rotate it and insert it.
Earbuds will never
What?
properly fit and will fall out all the time.
Well, that's just any old earbuds.
Actually,
goodness.
like these ones I got from Skull Candy have been pretty good.
Skull Candy
Well.
makes great shit, man.
Oh, I love their shit.
I just
They
got
gave me
these
this for free.
like funky
free.
little earbuds.
Oh, the little
that
battery
I-
bank?
Yeah, 10,000 milliamps.
I thought about getting that. And my headphones are Skull Candy.
Mine too.
What?
Hash?
I
Hesh,
just got
Hesh
some
3.
Hash too.
funky little
3.
earbuds that are attached to these little like elf ear attachments. So like you wear them and it looks like you got elf
I
ears.
saw those. Those are
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
You know,
Yeah.
The
Neil-
auto clip when you're filling up your gas never works, so you actually have to stand there and hold
And
the
hold
damn
it.
you
nozzle.
bastard. Okay, Neil,
Yeah.
I had the Hesh 2 for a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah.
And then I visited my mom and forgot him. And by the time I got to visit her like 3 months later, she was way too attached to him to give him back to me.
Every time Neil tries to close his show, it always goes 45 extra minutes.
Nah.
I'm literally gonna walk away from this computer. I have to lay down. I'm in pain. I'm going. You
No,
guys
Mike.
wrap this.
Nope, Mikey, you and I got a meeting after this.
No, we do not.
Yeah, we do.
I have to
Yeah, we
lay
do.
down for a little bit,
I
or else I'm
called
going to
it-
get very
I've called the
cranky.
time.
I'm going to get very cranky and start cursing at people if I don't get to lay down.
That
All
sounds
right.
entertaining. Stick around.
No, I'm just wanting to test to check. Check it. Do a thing.
Okay, Biden.
Hurry up. Oh, you're talking about. No, I never.
Later.
I could go so
It's
many
late.
places
It's
with
late
that,
now.
but I know. And I've got gummy bears on the brain, but all right. Thank you to all my wonderful patrons. You guys are awesome. You want to do this, Mikey, or do I do it?
You're
I
good.
thought you were
You're good.
leaving. You good?
Go ahead.
You gonna fuck off?
No, I got you.
I appreciate you guys. You're amazing. And this guy right here is my newest patron, and he hit the pro level. Yeah, and sorry, I thought you said I was doing them. I'm so confused. Anyway, Randolph and I are starting our own call-in show pretty soon called True North Talk. So head over to the channel and sub to it, and you won't miss the launch. Also, watch me and some of the other. What the? Now he's gone.
Mike's done.
There
He's
we
done.
go. Yeah, he's done. His head exploded. You coming to watch myself and Mikey's been on an episode, and we're also. Well, you never know when we might come knocking on your door to come and do an episode of the Nonprofits with us, which is revamped and relaunched, and it airs between Talk Heathen and the Atheist Experience at about 3 p.m. Central Time. So head over there and check it out. And also the last Saturday of every month, my friends Andy and Seamus and myself get together for a little show called Atheist Drinking Out Loud, where we make fun of people and things and stuff, and we drink, and it's usually a lot of fun. This weekend we got X on the show. Kate, I want to get you in on for the one after that.
Okay.
If you're up for that.
Just give me the whens and wheres.
Okay, sure. I will do that. Yeah, and that's about it, guys. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out. Thanks again to Matthew for being my guest tonight. Almost a Doctor is his handle on Twitter. It's at Dr. Almost. And you'll see it in the thank you tweet that I put out shortly. And until next time, guys, like I always say at the end of these shows, like the late, great Carl Sagan once said, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Gracefully